Here we are then, folks. Club 2 of non-league to legend so far. And as always, an excellent jumping on point for the series if you haven't been watching along. Obviously, if you want to get caught up on the stories so far, there is an overall non-league to legend playlist which will show you the 2.5 seasons I've just spent at Kettering that's got us to this point. But we draw a line under that now. We progress in the career. We start our new life as manager of Peterborough United today in League One. It's January 2023. We've got £6.5 million to spend, but no spare wage budget and only a couple of days left to spend it. Plus, we're not quite in the playoffs and have a big game coming up. It's all kicking off. So we probably need to just get straight into it. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first 2 games in charge of my beloved Peterborough United, the team I support in real life. We're away against Rotherham and Hull, both in League One. And as you can see from that league table, they are 2 massive matches. We're not starting this with easy games, are we? We've got the teams in 5th and 6th away from home to kick things off. And the club are on a run of lots of league games without a win. They've not won a league game this year. They were doing quite well. If we have a look at the little league table graphy thing, you can see things were going quite well at one point. They are very much in free fall at the moment, and I need to put a stop to that. So in order to put a stop to it, I'm going to do something I don't often do, and that's try and come in and do a big tactical change. My instinct is to do the 4-2-3-1 that we've done before. Problem is, that's what they've been playing and losing. There's no point coming in and doing what's not been working. So I'm going to go for, I can't believe I'm saying this in a video, I'm going to go for some defensive stability. We're going to try and do a 3 at the back, and we're going to see what happens. It could be a total mess. There is going to be probably some transfer news coming up in this episode as well, because the transfer window it's got a few days left and we've got all this money to spend. The only problem is we're way over the wage budget and we can't adjust. So we can't actually spend it. It's the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced in a game of Football Manager, to have that much transfer budget and knowing that I can't spend any of it because we can't offer any wages. So we probably have to sell to buy. We'll figure all that out as time goes on. For now, we need to figure out how to get him scoring, because 9 goals at this stage of the season is awful for a player that I know is much better than these goal returns that he's been getting. And we just need to stop the rot. And this is the team we're going to put out there to try and stop the rot. And you can see I've already submitted them, which is it's problematic because I clicked the buttons too many times, and then I've had my assistant manager come in and say, you really should be doing a 4-2-3-1. You're not making the best of any of our wide players, and these guys who are quite good, and Beavers is on his way out, and he can't play right wing back. It's all going wrong. So I've had a bit of a lecture, went back to change it and realised I'd already submitted the team. So for now, we are committed to this. Let's see if it works, shall we? We've got Daniel Gioli. We called him Goalie on Twitch because he's a goalie and it's basically goalie. I don't understand how this guy is our first choice. He was rubbish in the Twitch save that we had, but he has to play because at the moment we don't have a goalkeeper. It's priority number 1, bring a goalkeeper in. We then got a back 4 of Mark Beavers, who's probably playing his last game for the club because he's on the transfer list, wants to leave, and he's on his way to Sunderland. So he's our 3rd best centre-back, so he's in alongside these 2 who've been the defensive partnership this season. Mads Anderson, who came in on a free it cost 1.2 million from Barnsley, not a free transfer at all, a big boy transfer from Barnsley in the summer. And he partners Ross Sykes, who is another big money signing from Accrington. These are the 2 new defenders who came in the summer. And here I am trying to rebuild the defence again. At left back, we've got Fraser Blake Tracy, who was club captain. He's actually been stripped of the club captaincy, and I've given that to Lewis Reed in midfield. I don't know if it's Lewis or Louis. He gets called both. I think we're going to go Louis. It's probably Lewis, isn't it? Who knows? I think it's Louis. He's our new captain, and we've just moved the captaincy over to him. Vice captain was Beavers, and we've given that to Sammy Schmodix, who is not available today because he's suspended. And we don't actually have a single player injured, which is a bit unique and probably won't last very long. At right back, we're going with Joe Ward, who's really a winger, but he's played right wing back plenty of times in real life. He is natural there in game as well. So he comes into the side, having spent most of the season playing on the right wing. Going to have to play a little bit more defensively. Our best player then is in midfield, Jack Taylor. I'm expecting big things from Jack Taylor. I'd like to use him in a bit more of an attacking role, but I don't know, maybe I swap these two over and make Reed the playmaker and Taylor the box-to-box midfielder, but I can't make any changes at the moment. Can I change? I literally can't change anything because I've already submitted it. In the absence of Sammy Schmodix, Ryan Broom is going to play as our attacking midfielder. Again, played lots of football for us already this season. And up front, we've got Johnson Clark-Harris, who's going to play as a pressing forward and needs to start scoring more goals. And he's going to be partnered by Jamal Hector Ingram, who was, I'm sure it might have been born, he was great for us. Has also played a decent amount of games and scored a decent number of goals this year. So there's goals in those two. And these two will offer good support getting forward. We just need the midfield three to be right. We need this defence to work, which is a tall order. I've never played a 5-3-2. That's not true. I've not played a 5-3-2 for a long time. What I am doing there is a 5-3-2 vertical tiki-taka, because that was the system that my assistant manager said best suited our players. I feel like this might be going wrong. We could move into a playoff spot here. Impress me. I don't think we should be attacking away from home. We're going to drop this down straight away, and we're also going to swap these two over and get Jack Taylor as the box-to-box and Reed as the playmaker. So we've already made some changes, and I'm probably fairly early on in the second half going to get one of these defenders on and experiment with some of these wingers that I've been told about. And this is my first day in charge of the club, by the way. I was appointed manager at 9:30 this morning, and now I've had to come away from home for a massive game like this one, where it looks like I've just pulled names out of a hat. And that's effectively what's happened, because this is not close to my team yet. And there's only so much we can do without a proper goalkeeper, which is that was kind of the thought process behind going for the back three. If we haven't got a proper goalkeeper, let's stick an extra defender in front of him and hope that helps. But we're 1-0 down already, and we're not showing much in the way of attacking oomph. Although, to be fair, we are ahead for XG. So, there's always positives to pull out of these games. We're doing well for XG. And we're going to, we'll just go attacking. It's the only way I know. And we're going to attack. And, hey, goalie held on to the ball. Beautiful. I'm going to try not to sarcastically cheer every time it happens. But until we sign a goalkeeper, I've got an agenda here. Big goal kick. If we concede like this, it's rubbish. Oh, my word. Some very solid. I don't know who our number 5 is yet, but that was a good piece of defending from him. And now Rotherham on the attack again, and Anderson gets the ball clear, finds Clark-Harris, who turns, gives it to Broom. Hector Ingram's miles offside, has actually drifted back onside and then been fouled. Was that defender the last man? I don't think he was, but he's been called over to the referee. It's just a yellow card. But we've got a free kick in a dangerous position here. Our big defenders have gone forward. Our back three are 6'5", 6'4", and 6'4". We should be a threat from set pieces if we can get forward often enough to take some. That was a poor free kick from Clark-Harris. And we're still doing all right, but not as all right as I hoped we would. I think we might change things up again for this second half and maybe go to the 4-2-3-1 and just complete that. The fans are going to think I'm insane. We abandoned the system they've been using for a half. It didn't really work. I would like to think it shows good management that I can accept that I was wrong and change things. So that's the system we were using. I think we go to this because it's effectively what we've been using at Kettering, and just adjust the players around to fit in this. So Anderson and Sykes can be the defenders. Ward can just stay in at right back. Mark Beavers is going to be coming off. We're going to take off one of the strikers as well. So I think I'm going to take off Hector Ingram because Clark-Harris suits the pressing forward role better. So we're going to bring on these two wingers. So these are the two that I was told I should be playing. Viv Solomon Otterbor, who, fair enough, and Lyndon Gooch. So he wants to play on the right wing. If we bring him on to play on the right and him on to play on the left, I don't know what roles they need. So he is inverted winger. I can live with him being an inverted. Is he an inverted winger? He's right-footed. I can cope with that. And then this guy over here is just a winger. See, I'd rather have someone cutting inside a little bit more. I might make him an inside forward just to I want someone getting up there supporting a little bit better. We'll make him an attacking midfielder, and then I'm going to swap these two over again, make him the deep lying playmaker. Can he do ball playing defender? He can, so we'll leave him as that. And we'll go with that. Hold on. Hold the phone. We don't need an attacking sweeper keeper. And then I guess if we play for set pieces as well, and probably wise to sort out a corner instruction with these giant defenders. So he's 6'5", he's 6'4". Just get it into the near post. I mean, we're not doing anything really complicated here, but when you've got big defenders like this coming forward for corners, it makes no sense not to try and abuse it completely. So double substitution at half time as we look to change things up, and we're going to demand more immediately and see if we look a little bit more oomph in this second half. Immediately, we're adding a little bit more XG, which has got to be a good thing. The one shame is I had to take the striker off, who I'd like to bring on in about 10 minutes. Can I bring Hector Ingram back on again for Clark Harris? Give them both half the second half each. That would be perfect. Broom then ends up with Jack Taylor. Clark Harris. Solomon has made an immediate impact coming off the bench. He's been on the pitch, 18 minutes, and has already grabbed his first goal in the Chapman era here at Peterborough. It looks like we're doing a 4-2-3-1. My whole idea to protect the goalkeeper didn't work. We were behind anyway. Vertical tiki-taka was a stupid idea. Once I've got a little bit more time before the next game, I might look into doing a counter-attacking system with more defenders in again. But I think until we can bring in a couple more defenders, I don't really want to be playing Mark Beavers, who's on his way out of the club. Right, Jack Taylor's shattered, apparently. I'm being recommended to bring on Oliver Turton, who is a right back. I mean, that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. Ryan Broom, I think, can play centre mid, as can Lyndon Gooch. Can he actually properly play there? No. Can he play there? No. This bench is a little weak, isn't it? I think we've got to take Taylor off because we don't want to break him because he's our best player. But we're going to just shuffle the midfield around a little bit to that. Gooch playing there? Yeah, he can. So Ward goes further forward. Turton goes in at right back now. Ryan Broom comes back to play in central midfield. And we'd be happy with a draw from this game. A draw would be a very good result if we can hold on. Let's encourage the team. I don't encourage very often, but we'll give encourage a little try. See how that works out for us. And Ward's missed out on the ball there. And now it's Rotherham. Look at the positioning from that goalkeeper. Oh, we're never going to do anything with him in goal. What is he doing there? Someone please explain to me what our goalkeeper is doing here. How do you go into a season where you're trying to get promoted from League One without a goalkeeper? This is like Tor all the way over again. Those of you who've been on the channel for a long time will remember non-league to legend 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up at a French club called Tor partway through the season, and we arrived just as the transfer window was closing, didn't have a goalkeeper, couldn't get one in on time, and ended up getting relegated because we didn't have a goalkeeper. I'm getting horrible flashbacks, but I was so desperate to manage Posh, it might be the only opportunity I ever get. I'm going to point the finger but say well done. I want them to know I'm saying well done, but I mean I'm a little bit disappointed with what's happened there. And now we've got a whole load of players with fitness. Well, I mean, I've not been doing the training. How can I be held responsible for this? Their fitness should be reset. Oh, that means the next game we're going to have to rest all 3 of them, which is effectively our 3 best players. It's our best striker, best midfielder, best defender. The core of the team's got to rest for the next game. Right, we're scratching around doing some very non-league style transfer business, trying to work within this because we can't get to this until we fix this. So we're trying to bring a few players in who can fill immediate gaps and worry about proper squad building in the summer, I think is the plan. So, and there's a couple more we're working on there, but the bulk of what we've just done is over here. So the Mark Beavers deal has gone through. He's left the club, gone to Sunderland. Despite starting my first game in charge, he didn't impress. He's left the club, gone to Sunderland. And we did have to take this fella, Reece Cole, in exchange, who I have no interest in having or using. And I'm offering him out for loan immediately. He's not in our 20-man squad. So he's just been offered straight back out again. Despite playing fairly regularly for Sunderland this year, having just arrived to them from Walsall. So everyone's trying to get rid of Reece Cole, it seems. But we've signed 2 players. We've signed Luke McCormick, who's a 24-year-old Scottish under-21 international, who was available on a free transfer. He was a Chelsea youth player who, as a Chelsea youth player, has obviously had a lot of loans, spent time out at Shrewsbury, Bristol Rovers, most recently Inverness. He was available on a free transfer, not at a club since the summer, so he's not match fit. But he is a 3-star current ability, 4-star potential player who looks like he could actually make a proper contribution to this team. He was knocking about on a free transfer. Good player for League One sides now. Good player for the Championship for the future. He's as good as Louis Reed in midfield, and we were a little bit light on central midfielders. Once you get past Taylor and Reed, there wasn't really anybody. So Mccormick can come in and do a job in there. And we've also signed another one of my non-League to Legend veterans, Deshaun Bernard, who I'm always told it's Bernard. Look, he's Bernard, and it's always going to be Bernard in my world. Manchester United youngster in real life, spent time out on loan at Salford, but got released by Manchester United in the summer. Again, he's not had a club since, but he's a decent League One option. We've just let Mark Beavers go. He's not going to be a starter for us at the back because we've got those two good centre-backs that we'd already identified, Anderson and Sykes. But he can be a perfectly adequate backup and will start today because of the fact that, as mentioned before, we've had to rest our 3 key players, Taylor, Anderson, and what's his name? Clark Harris, the one who actually plays for Posh in real life. You should know his name, Kev. So it's a very makeshift team today. We are going to the 4-2-3-1 that we used in the second half of the last game. We've got goalie in goal. At left back, we're going with Gaz Key, who's an 18-year-old who's come through our youth system. Looks like he's played a few games. I mean, he looks pretty special. I was looking at the young players that we've got. For him to be 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential already, we probably need to be playing this guy ahead of Blake Tracy, who's same current ability, but he's obviously older, doesn't have the potential that this guy has. He's on the loan list. We need to fix that. He's not going anywhere. How do you take someone off that? We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Bernard making his debut alongside Sykes, and then Turton, who came off the bench at right back in that last game, going to be playing at right back. In midfield, Broom drops from the attacking midfield role to centre mid to play alongside new boy McCormick as we're having to rest. Where is he? We're resting Jack Taylor. He's gone away on holiday, and Louis Reed picked up an injury. Our new captain is injured already. Excellent. I said the injury thing wouldn't last. Sammy Schmodix returns from suspension to play as the attacking midfielder with the 2 wingers we brought on in the last game, Gooch and Solomon Otterbor either side of him, and Jamal Hector Ingram is going to start up front. Where we're going. I mean, he can play as the pressing forward. He's as good at that as he is at anything else, apparently. So we'll use the pressing forward because I like a pressing forward. So we need to give out some squad numbers. How? How do we need to give those 2 squad numbers? They played in the last game. Football Manager confuses me at times, but hopefully we'll be a little bit more effective with this lineup than we were previously. Obviously, we would still like to bring in some additional players, but we can't because of the stupid financial restrictions that we're under. It's not as if we're even close to the wage cap because we're not. The wage cap, I think, is 48,000. We're on 32,000 as our 20-man squad. So we're not at the wage cap. The club have just decided we're spending enough money. Hector Ingram's in with a good chance there. A decent finish. We go 1-0 up and everything starts to look all right again. As it stands right now, we're 4 points behind Hull. So even a win here doesn't put us up into that playoff picture. You can see the impact a couple of wins has on the likes of Rotherham, who are now up in second place. They've gone from 6th to 2nd. The last game when we played them, if we'd have won, we'd have gone above them, or at least level on points with them. So it shows just how tight things are at the top of this table. If we can get this right tactically and bring in the right players in the next couple of days, we are still very much in with a chance of a promotion season. Turton on the right-hand side, can he get a crossover? He can. Do you call that a cross? He finds Gaz Key on the other side. The football looks really big. And we've got a penalty. Lyndon Gooch is going to take it. I don't know if Lyndon Gooch is any good at taking penalties. We're learning together. We're on a learning adventure. Let's see if Lyndon Gooch can take a penalty. He can't. It's going to be one of those seasons, isn't it? We're just going to have to be patient, I think. One of the big attractions of this, in addition to it being Peterborough, one of the big attractions was leaving a club who were in a promotion push and joining another club also in a promotion push. But I'm starting to get the feeling it's perhaps not going to work out that way, and we're probably going to have to accept this. I mean, the board knew the score. They asked for mid-table. I think if we can deliver mid-table and use the rest of the season to work out who's worth keeping and identify the targets we want to bring in over the summer, we'll have that £6.5 million. We can get that spent before the end of the season with players due to come in the summer and pretty much do our summer business over the course of the rest of the season so that when pre-season starts, we're pretty much ready to roll. That's probably a more sensible way to do it rather than trying to force a promotion this year when we're not ready because we're still missing half a team. Tim Flowers is obviously quite a good manager to have got this club to where they are with the playing squad that he's got available to him. We're 1-0 down now. I'm saying I'm not going to force a promotion, obviously, if the opportunity presents itself. And we're not going to turn one down either. But having these first couple of defeats, which is looking like is what it's going to be, doesn't bode particularly well, does it? We're going to have to go attack him. I don't want to read too much into 2 difficult away games to start things off. And we are missing our 3 best players today. So, again, take it all with a pinch of salt. But I'm not feeling overly positive at the moment. Bernard, though, with a lovely clearance. And it's Solomon down this left-hand side. And he's going to... did we switch him back to an inside forward again? I hope we did. He's trying to force his way into the area. I don't know why he's not just playing the cross over to Hector Ingram. I know exactly why, because I have switched him to an inside forward rather than an inverted winger. So he's going to try and shoot rather than take the cross. Broom plays it out to Turton. Turton with the cross. Hector Ingram's there again. It falls to Solomon. And there's an equaliser. Solomon Otterbohr. He's the man. He's scored in both of our games now. And it's only his 5th goal of the season, but he's got a new lease of life under Chapman. That's what the commentators are saying. He looks like a different player under Chapman. Yeah, he does. I'm getting the best out of him. I'm a man manager. I know what I'm doing. I identified him as one of our best players right at the start. I didn't try and do a system that didn't even involve wingers. I wasn't in charge for that first game. I took over at half time. That was the existing staff picking the team for that game, which in reality is probably what would have happened. I'd have come in and watched from the stands. You don't pick the team on your first day in charge of a new club. That's madness. Right, Key with the throw. We've won another penalty here. Get him off the... right, who have we got who can take penalties? Hector Ingram, you can take it. Confirm. Excellent. Right, let's see if Jamal Hector Ingram can take penalties. We're learning about penalties today. Hector Ingram from the spot, and he scores. It's 2-1 to Peterborough. We're getting promoted. We're going up as champions, boys and girls. What a turnaround. I'm a management genius. I don't know what's gone on in this second half, but I'm really rather enjoying it. It's 2-1 to Peterborough. It doesn't make a huge impact on the league table by the looks of it. I feel like we were on 48 points before. Yeah, there you go. We're up to 50 points now. I'm level on points with 6th place, which presumably is Hull. So we're back in the mix, boys and girls. Key plays it to McCormick, who has had a fairly solid debut, he says, just as he plays an absolutely terrible pass. And now Hull have got a counter-attack on that we're not really dealing with. Bernard does brilliantly to come across and cover. The 2 debut boys, one of them saving the other one there from embarrassment. It is a corner to Hull. Apparently, Lyndon Gooch wants to take a penalty. I bet he does. Never again, Lyndon. Schmodix was about to get a counter-attack underway, but it just kind of fizzled out. And now we're looking at the bench and trying to decide what have we got. Flynn Clark is a very good young player in real life, but not really the wide player that I'd be looking to bring on now. Like looking at his goal return, not really a striker either. And we're going to take off Gooch. We'll bring on Joe Ward because we know what we're getting with Joe Ward. Who else is tiring? I need to keep an eye on Bernard and McCormick because neither of them have trained since July. So making it through the game for either of them will be quite an experience. Sam Cartwright is a centre-back. Hasn't played a lot of football. I'm going to keep him in mind if we have to take Bernard off. And in midfield, who is Jody Jones? Jody Jones is a 25-year-old winger. I don't really want you, Jody Jones. We've just spent money on you, have we? I mean, I don't know how to break this to you, Jody. You're not going to play much football under me. Right, we're going to take off Sammy Schmodix. Flynn Clark can go in there. Let's see if he's any good. And we will we'll keep an eye on the 2 debut boys and make sure they don't get too tired. Hull are in again here. We need someone to get a tackle in, and somebody does. I think that's Ryan Broom has come all the way back there with a tackle. He's a winger. What's he do? He's learnt to tackle. Amazing stuff. Solomon playing it forward, looking for Hector Ingram. It's a big opportunity for Hector Ingram today. With Clark Harris out of the side, Hector Ingram's not started a lot of football this season. So to get an opportunity to start a big game like this one, it's a show of faith in someone who never let me down when we had him. I'm convinced it was Bourne last year. We had Hector Ingram, and much lower down the pyramid as well. I think he played for us, scored lots of goals for us, wouldn't sign a new contract because he was so good, and then ended up retiring because no one else wanted him. So hopefully his career trajectory is a little bit different this year. We've been rescued by an offside decision here. I mean, he is offside, but only just. I mean, it remains 2-1 to us, and we're still keeping an eye on the fitness levels of these boys. They're actually not doing too badly. So I think we can probably assume they can make it to the end of the game and maybe make one more normal substitution. Ward playing it across to Solomon, who has definitely been the danger man for us, but is now very, very tired. We've got Tasdemir on the bench who can come on and play on the wing. And I guess we've got Jones, who we just looked at as well. Either of them could come on for Solomon. I guess we probably need to have a look at both of them to see if they're any good. Sykes collects the ball from the aimless lump forward from Hull. McCormick spraying it across to Ward now. McCormick's decided he's got an opportunity here. Turton, have we won a third penalty? I mean, thank you, Football Manager, for the assist today. And we'll leave it with Hector Ingram because he scored the last one. So it would be a little bit harsh to take it off him. And he scores again. Jamal Hector Ingram. I think he's our top scorer now off the back of that. It's his 10th goal of the season. Yes, 2 of them are penalties. But, you know, he's scoring goals. That's the important thing. We're going to take off Otterbohr. We will bring Jones on. What kind of wide player are you, Jones? You're an inverted winger. Prove it. Let's see if you're any good. And I definitely wouldn't have signed him because he doesn't look any good. But we've got to give him an opportunity. You never know. So as it stands, we're 2 points outside of the playoffs. I think it's Ipswich down in 6th place as Hull fall out of the playoff picture. Clark's done very well to win the ball back here, and it's 2-on-2. Clark plays it into Hector Ingram. He's on a hat-trick, and Jamal Hector Ingram has a hat-trick for Peterborough United. A new star is born, boys and girls. It's Hull 1, Peterborough 4, and it's the Jamal Hector Ingram show. Give him a couple of penalties. I mean, this is brilliant breakaway football from 2 of our young players. Flynn Clark does really well. It's a beautiful pass, slotted through to Hector Ingram, and that was an easier chance than either of his penalties were. And it's 4-1. What a contrast to the Rotherham game this one has been. Maybe this isn't going to be as tough a job as I thought it might be. We've still got time to do a little bit more in the way of transfers as well. But that was just a very good performance. Peterborough's first win of the calendar year. And what a way to do it. We're back in the promotion hunt. Right. The job from here, I'm not going to go too far into the future because obviously we've still got deadline day to come. There should be some more transfer business. I'm not going to show you a Papa John's game though. So I think what we'll probably do is show Forest Green because vegan and Cambridge because local rivals. So we'll do Manchester United and Plymouth off camera while we finish off some transfers. And then we'll be back for those 2 games tomorrow. And hopefully by then we'll have figured out a system and start to really establish ourselves back in that playoff picture. What is a picture? Apparently a picture's a thing now. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.